Man, I hope I wasn't muted that whole time because I've just been going off on a little rant talking about Malaysia and all of the quote unquote passport kings that been going to the same places. How about right now? Can you hear me? Let me see a thumbs up if y'all can hear me. I should be okay. Let me see. Yeah, I hope you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat. But yeah, like I was saying, um, yeah, we had to switch it up and get to Malaysia this time around. And I wanted to talk. I mean, like in the title, appreciate you, Pen. Y'all know I'm not really no gossip, chatty patty, trending topics type of thing. But I think this is one of the things that gets people drawn to the channels as I'm trying to build this channel up a little bit. But I was speaking on how I saw that the Beyoncé halftime show, the Christmas game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans, and it was great, man. They really showed out for that one. And the NFL needs to keep Jay-Z and Rock Nation involved because you don't want to go back to what it was before Michael Jackson. We know what Michael Jackson did for the Super Bowl halftime show. People before that, people were changing from the Super Bowl and would watch and Live in Color and all these other shows. So the NFL was losing viewership. So they had to go and get the King of Pop. They had to go and get Michael Jackson. They didn't have a choice. And they got him, and every year from that, they tried to do it bigger and bigger. But anyway, uh, what Jay-Z and Beyonce have done, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of talent out there, but they turned it up. They really, really turned it up. I don't think you can get Taylor Swift, you can get all of these other entertainers. It ain't gonna be able to touch Beyonce. Not what she did or she's been doing. A lot of people say she overrated, but I think she's the best female entertainer performance-wise on the planet right now. I'm not saying she the best singer. That's always debatable. That's always subjective. I'm not saying she the best singer, not saying she the best dancer, but all around, total package, female, I think you got to give it to Beyonce. But anyway, the NFL, they did a great job with this production, this thing, even with all of the controversy. You know, it's good. But I'm about to show y'all this real quick. You know, the little resort that I'm at before we move up out of here. I see we got the pool, nice pool. It kind of looked like an infinity pool, but it's not really. Or maybe this is technically an infinity pool. It's just low to the ground, so I'm not really giving them their credit. But then you got the beach right here. You know, it's fun, man. I like this spot right here. Well, y'all saw where I was at the other day. I was in Kuala Lumpur a few days ago. And Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital city, I mean, it was nice, man. I was happy there. I could have stayed there, but you know, I had to go and move on and get to this spot. I don't know what this little sand thing is here. I guess for the little kids, little sand pit. But let me know, how's the quality of the video? I don't know if you can really see. We got the palm trees here. You know, there's a tower right there. I did some exploring the island a little bit today, but this island is so big. Definitely couldn't have got all the way around it, but tomorrow I'm gonna come back and we gonna see what it is. We gonna see some more. Let me take a little stroll, show y'all what the compound look like, the resort. The quality is good. Thanks, Pen, for letting me know. Appreciate you for jumping up in here. I'm gonna tell you, too, man, this place ain't crazy expensive, man. Malaysia, like I said, it's cool depending on what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Malaysia is like it's a conservative Thailand, put it that way. But I mean, it's the people here are real cool, real chill, humble. You know, it's a safe country. You know, they don't mess around too much out here. But and this place here is not very expensive, man. I mean, you could get a a real nice suite in here, like the bedroom with two bathrooms. I don't know why they put two bathrooms in there, but you know, you get you a one bedroom bathroom for like, you know, under 100 a day, like 70 something a day. If you want the beach side, it's like almost 80 a day, you know. Now, of course, if you are staying out here for months or a month and you got a monthly rental, you probably get you a monthly rental for like $400 a month out here. But because this is a resort and they know you staying short time, you staying a few days, maybe you staying a week, they just gonna they gonna hit you over the head a little bit, you know. And then I'll show you some of the cuisine. You know, this I don't know, that look like goat meat to me or mutton. Look like mutton and cheese naan, so some Indian food. You know, I don't know what kind of fish that is. Look like garlic naan bread. They got Western food, more Indian food. It's a little restaurant right there. And this ain't even like no top tier spot either, man. This is just something uh, basic. Their top tier, they got the West End, not too far from here. They got something called the St. Regis. You know, if you really want to turn it up, you go to the St. Regis. You know, so yeah, this is what the scene looking like. And as y'all can see, to the brothers, to the passport kings and the passport bros, whatever. Y'all can see I'm the only one of us out here, the only brother out here. You feel me? So, but the people been so cool about it though. You know what I mean? I feel, in a way, I kind of feel like I'm breaking some barriers. You know what I mean? When it comes to especially the brothers that's out there in the states. You know, coming out here Um, it ain't too many. I ain't seen too many of us out here. I can probably count on one hand out of the 2.5 weeks that I've been here. I could count on one hand how many Americans I've seen out here. And like I said, the reason why I feel like I might be breaking a few barriers is just the type of stares and the conversations that I've been having, you know, and you know, they might see me out here walking with moving around with an Asian chick. They see me moving around with an Asian chick, and it's like the first time they ever seen something like that. And they're like, man, what is this? You know, because I think first and foremost, the first impression that people get of me is not that I'm from the U.S. or anything like that. The first impression is that they think I'm from like Nigeria or Ghana or something like that, somewhere in Africa. So, most times, a lot of times, people out here, maybe not even just out here, but definitely in Asia, a lot of times people look down on the Africans, you know, not saying it's right, but that's just what it is. So they look down and then they see somebody like me and they see I'm out here, you notice me when you see me when I slide through. And I might have a nice little Asian woman on my arm. And to them, they're like, oh my, like, what is this? Like, this is unusual. Oh, we didn't know that was okay. We don't see that all the time, So, and then, you know, when you, the men know this, when you with a woman, and then other women start looking at your woman, and then they start looking at you. They looking at, you could tell they thinking something. You may not know what they thinking, but you could tell it's definitely something on their mind about it. So yeah, man, the people on this island been treating me good. You know, they've been nice. I I went and bought one of these like chicken kebab type. No, it was a lamb. Bought some lamb yesterday, and the lady didn't really charge me much at all. And then she started giving me extra food, and then I tried to give her a tip, and she didn't want to take the tip. She was like, "No, no, no, no." She didn't want the tip, man. And I don't know if it's because she was a Muslim, a Muslima, or what, but she didn't want the tip. So I just was like, "Look, I'm gonna put it in. I put it in her little thing anyway." Uh, and as I was walking away, she was like, "No." She was like, "I'm gonna give it away." I was like, "All right, well, you give it away." And she gave it to a little kid. She gave the tip that I gave her to a little kid. And as I'm walking away, get like maybe not a half a block away, but I get a good ways away. The little kid is running up to me, running, running, running to hand and catches me and gives me um, a juice, like a cup of juice, fresh juice. None of that. It wasn't no Sprite. It wasn't a Coca-Cola. It wasn't no Fanta. Nothing like that. It was dragon fruit mixed with watermelon juice, fresh, and you could taste it was fresh because you could taste like the pulp and all that stuff in there, whatever the seeds. So I'm just saying, they've been showing, they've been showing us love out here. They've been showing me a lot of love out here in Malaysia. So it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but so far I give Malaysia a good score, man. I really like it out here. I wouldn't mind staying out here for a while. You know, I say if you a man and you single and you looking for like wife type material, I think you'll find a lot of that out here. Because like I said, the women just know how to they cover up, and you know you can tell when women just kind of like really respect men. They want to cater to men. What is that right there? Is that something swimming? Is that a lizard or something? I don't know what that was. But speaking of that, I think I seen a Komodo dragon today, a little baby one. I recorded it. I'm gonna put it on this channel later. Yeah. You said most don't go to the Muslim places except Bali or something. Yeah, you right. She might have been married. You right. You right. Yeah, I hear a lot about Bali. I definitely hear a lot about Bali and Indonesia, and I ain't been there yet. I would like to go, you know. Um, but man, just these whole areas, man. These people are just so cool, and I met somebody from Singapore yesterday. Him and his family. He introduced me to his family, and then his wife this morning. They wanted to have breakfast together this morning, but I got up kind of late, so I didn't even get a chance to get to breakfast. Because I'm still on American time. I'm still on that USA time, which is the opposite of here. So during the daytime, usually I'm asleep right about now. I might be waking up right about now, usually. And I'll be up all night. And then as soon as the sun get ready to pull up, boom, I crash. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, let me show this side again. Uh, yeah, just walking around on the yard. Look, we got the gym right here. This is what I really like. You know, old girl don't she wanna always go somewhere, so I gotta go. I don't even have time to really work out like I want to. I want to get on that treadmill and lift some of these weights, but you know, that's the thing about it. But yeah, on that stroke. And another thing I want to say too, um, you know, for those of you, we got one homie that pops up in here quite often, man, who I appreciate too, along with you, Penn, and a couple other people. The dude, Strugglers was talking about traveling soon too, which I hope he does. And I want to, if he sees this or anybody sees this, I just want to say that if y'all want to travel and you don't want to wait for like somebody to go with you, don't wait. Go, because sometimes when you take these trips with people, they slow you down. Don't wait for somebody else. If don't you don't There's no need to travel in a group, because sometimes you want to go somewhere. Like, let's say you get to the destination, you like, I want to go out here, I want to go out there, I want to go down this street, I want to see what this neighborhood is like. It may be somebody who says, oh man, I don't want to go there, or you can't. They get caught up doing something else, and then you got to wait on them. Don't wait. If it's somewhere you want to go, something you want to do, go and do it. Do not wait on somebody else. You know. So that's one of my travel tips to any nomads out there. Whether you're a digital nomad or you just a vagabond, somebody that just like to travel, like to see something different. You know, you just want to see what the world is like, the other part of the world is like, a different country is like. Go. As long as you got your bills taken care of back home for that time that you gone, you ain't, it's always gonna be a struggle no matter what you're doing. It's always gonna be a struggle somehow. But go, you know. I'm glad that I came here. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Look at that background. I don't know if y'all can see that background too. If it's clear for you. I like being around the water. I like hearing the water. You know. Yeah. So I'm gonna put. It's so hard for me to rank Malaysia though. Like, if somebody asks me what's my top 3 favorite places, as much respect as I got for Malaysia, I don't know if I put it in my top 3 favorites. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's in my top 5 yet, but I definitely do think this is a great place. Keep the scene. Look, they out. The sun just went down, and people just chilling in the pool. You know, we got people from everywhere out here. I mean, let me not say everywhere, but I definitely would say the Indians, and there's a lot of Arabs out over here. Indians and Arabs really know about this place here. Oh, and this was ranked. I need to tell y'all, this beach area, this island was ranked in like the this seventh most the best island in Asia. You know what I mean? If you pull up the top 10 best vacation spots in Asia, this gonna come up there. Langkawi in Malaysia. CP. You know, I was out and about earlier, so I didn't get a chance to go live. I would have loved to go live earlier so you could have saw more during the daytime. And got a chance to really see what this place, all of the beauty of this place, man. But I got caught up. I was renting motorbikes and just moving around. So by the time I got back, it was just like not too long ago. It's India here. Mm. Yeah, people sleeping on India. I ain't finna sleep on India. Remember I was talking about this too, right? They still celebrate Christmas out here. Look at this. Look at this. They pull out the Christmas decorations. You got a snowman, a reindeer, you know. And at the resort, got the game room. They out here playing pool, playing billiards. You see it. So I learned you got to be careful with some of these people because they don't do nothing but play pool all day. What's up, boss? Yeah. What's up, man? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know exactly where most of these people are from, the Arabs, but I'm guessing a lot of Saudi Arabia, maybe Kuwait, them areas. You know, they coming out here to chill. And a lot of people come to Malaysia. Look, man, for as many people want to go to the US, right? I hear a lot of people, I hear a lot of people that say they want to go to America. They want to go to America. And then I ask them, I said, why do you want to go to America? And they always tell me, it looks so great, this and that on the TV, Hollywood. And I tell them, look, it appears that way on TV. Like when you look at TV, you look at America on TV, you would swear that, everything is like Hollywood. And I'm like, it's not like that in real life. You know what I mean? And especially Hollywood and some parts of LA, you go out there and you be surprised, man. It's blocks of homeless people sometimes out there, and people just, some of the parts are just real dirty and dingy. I'm not saying everywhere. I'm just saying that it's not always what it appears to be on TV. And then I tell them, I'm like, look, what you have here in Asia, man, is just as good. It's so beautiful. You guys are lucky. You guys got fresh fruit out here. The food is good quality because they don't put all these pesticides and all these chemicals in the feed that is feeding the animals. So y'all got a higher life expectancy out here. But people get enthralled by what they see on TV, you know? So I try to tell them like, nah, y'all got it good out here. And then the people who do try to go to the US, it's not easy for them to get visas like it is for a United States citizen to get a visa to go somewhere else, right? So a lot of them, they might settle for a place like here, and I'm like, no, you lucked up. If you in a place like Malaysia, you lucked up. Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad, because this is just as dope. Let me go out here on the street real quick. Let me show you what the street look like. I'm gonna show you what the street look like. So like I said, this is a nice um resort. It ain't the top. Like I said, it's not Four Seasons. It's not uh the West End. It's not the St. Regis place and all that. But it's dope. And it's like, I don't want to call it, this ain't the hood, but this is kind of like the little town area where things get a bit regular. Let me show you. So they got all kind of good stores out here. Go to a little Korean restaurant right here. Hey man, and don't let nobody fool you. Them Koreans don't play when it come to fried chicken either. They do not play. My man looked like he might be stressed out with his two wives right there. They got twins. Either that was his maid, his housekeeper, or his second wife. And that's another thing too that I'm learning. You know, as a man who, in my younger years, I would have more than one girlfriend. And we used to think the more the merrier. But as you get older, and you don't want to keep them away from each other, you kind of want. It's better to have your women know who you're dealing with, because when your women know each other, they work together if it's done properly, and it'll give you a little bit less stress. But it's a stressful situation, man, taking care of two people, because you got two wives, which I think is the best thing to do. I don't think, especially what I'm learning over here, man, you gotta have your wives on point, and you gotta be honest about things, and you gotta be just between them. This little candy store. Um, Excuse me. Yeah, my bad. My reception went bad. I came up in this store. Let me get up out of here. But what I was saying about about just having more than one wife out here, not just only out here. I mean, just polygamy in general, is that it can be stressful, man. You got one woman. Imagine if you got one woman and she stress you out. If you're a man and one woman you got stress you out, imagine having two. You know what I'm saying? Two women can be a double headache too when they want to be. You know what I mean? Because the women, they want their attention too. Hold up, let me mute real quick. All right, had to mute for a second just so I could get away from that music, so I don't get flagged. But yeah, having one woman can be tough sometimes, man. So you got two, that's double. Just as soon as you fix one issue with one of your wives, then the other wife, you know, she gonna bring up something. So yeah, I met someone the other day, not the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago now, and she asked me if how many wives did I want? Because I did tell her, I said, yeah, I think I'm ready again. You know, she was like, well, how many wives do you want? You want one or two? And really, you know, you out here, this region of the world, you're a Muslim. You can have four up to four wives if you can take care of them. So, um, a lot of men in the states, man, you know, a lot of guys in the states got multiple baby mamas. Is what we call them. Got multiple baby mamas, and I think if they would have had more structure and knowing how to uh, take care of them, maybe instead of just making a baby mama, but making her into a wife, it might have, maybe things would have worked out. You know, if you would have married her first and then let her know, like, look, you know, these are the things, this is how I want to run my household, this is how I want to run things. And if you with it, we can roll. If you're not with it, then you can go. Coming at it from that standpoint, I think things start off better and the relationship might last longer and be on better terms. You know, so I think if it's done correctly, you know, a man can have multiple wives and everything just runs smooth. You know, and I'm seeing that out here. You know, but damn, you know, you a man, it's gonna be like back in the day where, what's up, struggler? Top of the morning, man. I was just mentioning your name not too long ago, man. Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate the thumbs up. He said in Utah they usually set it up so the days of the week are set. Usually you must have money for separate houses. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like when you having more than one woman, you gotta have your money right. There's no way around it. Even if, oh, downtown Brooklyn, BK, down there, Atlantic Ave and all that. But yeah, if you have multiple women, more than one woman, no matter how smooth you are, no matter how good of a talker you are, no matter how strong you are, or how good looking you are, at the end of the day, you gotta be able to take care of them in some way. You know what I mean? Some way, cause they gonna test you. You know, so I think in order, the only way that works is when you got your money right. If you got, and it really works if you, I mean, let's say you're not balling. Most of these athletes, you look at the athletes and the musicians and things like that who can't afford to move around as they please, and the women don't really get up too upset because the women are taken care of financially. They're like, they're proud to be share. It's almost like they're proud that they're sharing a man with other women because they know that he can take care of them, right? But the average guy in this economy, this day and age, is not that easy. But if you get lucky and you get you some women who are not super materialistic, you know what I mean? They don't have to have name brand this and name brand that. They don't have to have the biggest and the best all the time. You know, then you could probably pull it off. So it all depends, man. You know, it definitely depends on the kind of uh, women you come across and the kind of women that you want in your life. And like all of the older guys, and I don't know if, you know what I mean, you guys are older. All of the older guys will always tell you, and all of the successful guys will tell you, the most important decision you ever gonna make in your life is gonna be your spouse. You know what I mean? It's gonna be the woman that you choose to be your wife or you have kids with. That's gonna be the most important decision in your life. And yeah, man, I definitely agree with that. Cause no man wants a woman who's gonna stress him out all the time, man. We want a helpmate. We want somebody who, if we got an idea, we got a plan, She not just gonna sit back and watch us execute. She gonna try to help and make it happen. So if you got two of them like that, then it works out good. But yeah, in Utah, I do know they got polygamy in the United States, and probably not just in Utah, with the Mormons. Now with them, it might be more legally acceptable, but we never needed to wait for nobody, no law to tell us what we could do and what we can't do. Look at this. Somebody started a bonfire. Maybe they burning some trash. I don't know. Is this normal? What's the name up there? It's some power lines. I hope that power lines don't catch fire. Did somebody do this on purpose? Man, because if not, that shit burn up. But anyway, let me mind my business, get away from here before they say just in case that's an illegal fire. I don't want nobody coming over here saying I did that shit. I got witnesses. I got witnesses chilling with me on the live. They'll tell you it wasn't me. You said Martinique with Monago Street for appointment. What is that? Montauk? Okay, Montauk Street. Okay, okay. You say, yeah, man, because they can take half plus alimony. Yeah, man. Yes. You know, and the way the laws are set up in America, the way the laws are set up out there, everything is against the man. Man, I don't think that fire is supposed to be going like that, to tell you the truth, man. That thing getting bigger and bigger. I think that's an accident. Let me alert somebody and tell somebody, man. Hey, let me ask this lady. She might know. Hey, excuse me. Look, 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 look. Hey. Let me. Yeah, it's a fire right there. Is that normal? That fire?
I'm not sure if people do or not. Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. All
We
right.
call bomba.
Okay. Hey, damn. Just in case, man. That shit roaring. Oh, somebody running. So maybe. Yeah, them power lines. I don't like them power lines right there so close to that fire. Damn. That could have been a body over there. Somebody trying to get rid of some evidence or something. Oh yeah, he filming. I don't think that's supposed to be going like that. Hey, I'm here before Eyewitness News and them. Pete. But yeah, man, I told somebody I could keep it pushing. Um, the laws in America are set up where the man is always at fault, and the man is always the one that's gonna get in trouble. Like, you got to be careful too, man. Getting married to the wrong person too quick, you could lose a lot if you have anything. You know what I mean? And I mean, of course, none of us are. We ain't like Paul McCartney. Hey, man, is that fire normal? Yeah. Is that okay or no? Oh no. And the power lines, you know? Okay. Yeah, he gonna do something about it. He said many cars are over there. Hey, this the type of thing you can do out here in these kind of places. Start up um, you buy you a van and you start up a tourism, Yeah, they over there yelling. That thing getting out of control now. Yeah, people starting their businesses, the tourism business, you know, picking up people. Oh yeah, they yelling. They over there panicking now. It's getting serious. Hey, is this a Tesla? What's this? Yup. You don't see too many of these out here. They got their own. Yeah, that thing is roaring. But I think enough people done seen it. Back to what we said. My bad. I'll be going off on these tangents. So, what I was saying about uh, what you were talking about, Penn, how, they want the alimony, you got to take care of them, and this and that. And, you know, you see it happen with a lot of these athletes and these musicians. They get with these women when they're already big and they made it, and then they might be married for 4 or 5 months, 6 months, and then the girl want a divorce all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And depending on what state they got married in, especially if it's a place like California or somewhere like that, now he got to give her a sizable chunk of his money, of his earnings. Like, huh? Like Rick Ross said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Kobe Bryant was waking up 4 o'clock in the morning just so he could get to the gym 5:30 in the morning before anybody. Kobe had the keys to the gym just so he could work on his craft. And then for somebody to try to divorce him and take half, that ain't cool, you know. But over here it's different, you know what I mean? Um, if you got more than one woman and you marrying, you're gonna get you another wife. Even before you marry the first wife, you gotta pay a dowry. You have to give her some upfront money. You give that money either to her or you give it to her family, her parents, to say, look, I'm taking this woman and here's the dowry. It's like a payment, really. I don't want to say that people are selling humans. It ain't like that, but that's as far as the Quran goes, that's what it teaches, that a man gotta pay. And it's almost like an insurance policy. It's almost like an insurance policy. So you pay up front so you ain't got to pay on the back end later. And if they accept it, it is what it is. I don't know if you guys heard that story a few days ago, um, of there was a Chinese guy who was getting married to this woman. And I don't know if it's a total Chinese thing or maybe it was just the clan or the tribe or whatever he was from, that they pay for the woman. They give the family some money. So anyway, I think when it was coming up to the wedding day, some of the woman's family asked for more money. I think it was something crazy. They were asking for $40,000 more just to marry her, and that was crazy. It's kind of like extortion, man. So what that says is that people are for sale, man. People are for sale because sometimes a woman and a man might not get along, and the woman leaves. Her family, in some cultures, her family will take her and they will yell at her. They will shame her and tell her to go back to her husband. No matter what, you go back to your husband. Oh, he doesn't respect what I say. I want to do this. I want to do that. They're like, no, you go home to your husband. Even the father will say that as long as you're not like doing no crazy abusing the woman or nothing like that, then you ain't got much to worry about. But yeah, This is just the back street, one of the back street. Matter of fact, going to the main road to get in here. And as y'all know, they drive on the opposite side of the road from us in the States. Steering wheel is on the other side too. But yeah, but out here it's all kind of Asian people out here. I mean, you meet a lot of Chinese, a few Japanese, a lot of Indians, and I've seen quite a few Europeans like that, man. I don't know if they Russian or Polish or I don't know what they are, but see a lot of Europeans out here. Um, yeah, but none of our folks, man. Where we at? Where we at? You know, we need to start moving around the globe, man. Move around the whole earth. It's an old saying, we got to move around the earth like it's our turf. You know what I'm saying? Treat it like it's ours. You know? Don't feel shy about going anywhere. What's up, man? How you? Salam. Assalamu alaikum. USA. Yeah. What's up, man? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Jasmine. Salam. Salam. Nice cat. Yeah, salam. All right. Take care. What do you have here? This Malay food and Thai food. Okay. Sawadee Cup. Sawadee Cup. Okay. Kumpung Cup. All right. Bye bye. Yeah. He said. He said it used to be like that with farm animals to some countries. Yeah, man. You give them some animals. You give them some animal. Oh, look at this right here. They got stuff that look like sea moss almost. Some kind of coral reef and mushrooms and yeah. Where they might say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna give you a couple goats. I want to marry your daughter." And the father says, "Well, what do you have for me?" Well, I got these 3 goats right here. And depending on, I guess, the family, they might say, okay, we'll take them goats from you, which seems to be a fair trade. Hey, I want a female goat and a male goat so we could have them reproduce and keep making more. They'll never run out of food. Oh, y'all talk about, see, I don't drink, but, they got that Remy VSOP. They got everything up in here. Yeah, that's true. A lot of Russians escaping the war. Man, you hit it. You hit it. You hit it. I've seen some Russians almost everywhere that I've been in Asia, and I just figured that they would just maybe the wealthy Russians that were like controlling the war, but they didn't want to be seen, so they come out here to kind of like hide. But yeah, you're right. They dipping. They avoiding the war. That's crazy. That's true. A lot of these Russians ain't trying to get pulled in. Man, I don't know what this is about. Oh yeah, I think I was here earlier. They ain't really got much going on in there. Especially, and I can't blame anybody for leaving their country when it looked like they're going to war, because especially if it's a war that you don't believe in. It's one thing if you believe in the war and then you can just jump in it. But if you don't believe in it, I'm going back to my spot. If you don't believe in it, then yeah, why would you want to give your life for a war that you don't believe is just? That's how I felt about the war in Iraq after 9/11. I almost joined the military. Oh look, it sounds like the fire truck is coming. Listen to this. Look, there go the fire truck. fireman coming to put that fire out. But like coming out of high school, I almost joined the military. You know, they had me down at the recruiting office and everything. But at the same time, I really wasn't enthusiastic about it because I didn't believe in that. I didn't believe in that war in Iraq. You know what I mean? The Iraqis didn't have nothing to do with 9/11, so I didn't want to. Just didn't feel. Didn't I didn't feel. Uh, it didn't feel justified to me. It just didn't feel justified. So yeah, that's why I never got involved. So I can't blame nobody. But I ended up going overseas not too long after that, getting a taste of the world outside of the USA. And man, and here we are today, man. Me still going places and seeing what it's like outside here. Yeah, like I was saying, struggling. You got in here a little bit later, so I didn't get a chance to really show you the what this place looked like in the daytime. Cause my goodness, man, some of these landscape out here is breathtaking, incredible, amazing.
Hello.
Hello, what's up? How are you? Yeah. So yeah, man, this little bay right here is all nice. Can't see it right now, but in the daytime, I'm gonna get on a little bit earlier tomorrow. I was up in the mountains today too. Took the little motorbike and went up in the mountains. And there's so much to do out here. Don't the point is don't sleep on Malaysia. These Malaysians, they got stuff going on. I'm about to show you the little tower in the background. You see that? I'm gonna zoom in. All right, so red, now yellow, gold, white, green. Even on a little island like this with a population ain't really nothing like that. They still got everything they need out here. They got everything here. I mean, even even in the poor areas. I went to the poor areas today. I went to some of the little spots in the back on the back roads. You know what I mean? And even they got everything they need back there. You know, it might be considered the hood around here, or not the most affluent neighborhoods. But I mean, you know how it is like you know how it is back home, where somebody might live in a old house and it's a little bit run down, but that person got a brand new car in the driveway. They got about 2, 3 new cars sitting good, or clean cars. It ain't got to be brand new, but I see a lot of that out here. You might come across an area or a neighborhood, and it's monkeys too. They got a lot of monkeys just hanging out in the street, and you gotta watch yourself too, because sometimes they might want to attack. I don't know if y'all was on the live the other day, man, and the monkeys just for some reason out of nowhere, man. One of them kind of gave me some little attitude, and he was showing his fangs, and then the rest of his group started kind of like surrounding me. So yeah, look, they got the karaoke going on over there. Hold on, let me mute this. You said a lot of them struggling, living 8 to 10 deep in the room and hostels. That is true, man. I think you, that is a good point. Hold on, let me mute this one. Yeah, my man over there doing the karaoke, but I don't want to get this video flagged. But what I was saying to on your point about that, sometimes that give people a chance to come up. If you struggling like that, but you living 8, 9, 10 deep in an apartment, like how the Mexicans do, everybody will have a job. You know what I mean? When the Mexicans come up and they up in New York, New Jersey, all them areas, even Virginia, there'll be a bunch of them in a one room apartment or a 2 bedroom apartment, and everybody will have a job and they save up their money until they able to get on. You know, that's how I go. I would check that fire out again, but I'm almost beat. I'm about to go chill out and just eat a bunch of fruit. I going. Let me see real quick. Let me pass through, do one more little walk through the resort, and I'm going up. So y'all get to check the vibe of the place. Check the vibe. Let me ask. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, Salama. What time does the gym close? What time's finished?
Morning 7 to 8. 8.
Say, so closed now. Okay, okay. And the swimming pool too is closed.
Same.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Jessney?
Yes.
Destiny, thank you. All right. Yeah. So they just shut down the pool at 8, 12 minutes ago. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Back through. All right, gonna pass through and I'm gonna go upstairs real quick. Y'all get to check out the spot. I know this chick gonna be like, "Where were you? You said you were coming right back." Yeah, well, I had to talk to my peeps. I had to go live and talk to my peeps. Show my peeps the pool at nighttime. Oh, they got like a little restaurant here, bar. They got one here, and I think they got another one. Watermelon juice. Man, I like this, man. Even just chill by the pool. Oh, they got hookah out here. I see them. He said, "Dang, it's 7:13 a.m." Yeah, over here is 8:13 or 8:14 now. It's 8:14 at night. People still playing game. They got the ping pong table. They got forget the name of that foosball or whatever. What's up, man? How you doing? And then they got billiards. They got the pool table. All right, hold up. Let's see if I got my key. Boom, 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 boom. All right. All right, fam. I'm about to shut it down. Hold up, hold up. I'm about to shut it down real quick, but let me hold up. Hold on. It's right here. All right. Show y'all the spot. Man, somebody in here listening to stuff about. No, I ain't talking to me. You put this on? All right. No, it's all right. I'm just. No, it's good. It's good. Oh, I know. She out here listening to Mob Deep. Look, we got the little outside, little kitchen, and cool little hotel thing, man. We did the little shopping and got my fruits, my avocados, and my mangoes, and got my black seed oil, and I think it's called a sugar apple. Man, I always want the mangoes, always. I'm about to bust one of them open right now. You know, it's my little view right here. You hear my man over there singing still. Yeah, so in the daytime, man, this view is crazy. So, I got the city view, but I'm gonna show it. It's that's some hardcore. My guy, yeah, man. That shocked me. I come up in here and she playing Mob Deep. You know what I mean? We got the, and this is a weird, this is a bit of a weird room though, cause it's a one bedroom, but it got two bathrooms, like two full bathrooms. So I got my bathroom, she got her bathroom, which I like. I ain't complaining. I'm just saying though, that was just an interesting thing, man. So, but I will tell you, man, Malaysia, Malaysia is good, man. Malaysia is good. It's worth everything, and it don't cost much. So, I definitely will put that on the list for the for the for the for the premium travelers. When I say premium, I'm talking about the guys who, not too much bothers you. You know how to go places and act. It's not your first time there. One thing I had an aunt years ago, before she passed away. It was my great aunt. She used to always say, like, act like you've been somewhere before. Carry yourself with respect and class, and you'll be able to kind of like fit in anywhere. Don't go places expecting things to be like they are back home. You know, just and y'all already know, man. Respect. The key to life is respect, man. Because when you have respect for others, you always have the door open for you. You say you like the one bedroom part, yeah. Appreciate that, struggler. Appreciate that. You know, yeah, man. Don't wait till you get somewhere to be like, oh my god. Yeah, it's cool to appreciate it, but you know, treat others how you want to be treated. I think that was the essence of the message of what she was saying, and that's what I do, man. So yeah, I'm about to shut it down, yo. Appreciate, explore, try different foods, appreciate different cultures. Oh, you just cut this? Thank you. Okay, look at that. I ain't really have to wait that long. Boom, she came. She knew what I wanted, and then boom. Look, and I like the way they cut these out here. I really, I don't eat mangoes like this, but bam, look how they do them. This is what I like this, a little paying attention to detail. But yeah, so you said explore, try different foods, and appreciate different cultures. Absolutely, man. That's what I do. I think that's how I've been able to make it so long. I have my little scrapes, my little bumps and bruises here and there, but for the most part, I always did pretty well, and I think that's why, man. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Big facts. You know how that goes, struggling. Man, struggling pen, man. I appreciate y'all. Uh, yeah, man. I appreciate y'all always coming through, man. For sure. Even when nobody else do, man, y'all be showing love, man. I gotta give a big salute, you know. And but I'm gonna come back on here maybe in a couple hours, or when it gets daytime, man. Or I might just come on here just to talk anyway, man. Cause originally I got on here to talk about uh, that Beyonce halftime show, man. I thought it was dope. I don't know if anybody's seen it. I don't. I'm not a big woman R&B. Uh, I'm not a fan or nothing like that. I like Mary J. Blige and stuff like that. Her music she used to put out, but I don't really buy women music like that. But I do like to recognize talent when I see it. Um, And I feel like Beyonce, Jay Z, in my opinion, man, a lot of people may not agree, but I feel like that's the home team. Yeah, it just happened last night. It was a Christmas game between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, the game itself was nothing to talk about, really. It's just a regular NFL game. And the halftime show, Beyonce, she's performed millions of times, so it's nothing special about that. But the thing that made this a little bit different was the controversy that's surrounding the whole, the thing with Jay Z and stuff like that. So people wanted it to be people wanted to turn it into something negative. They wanted to take something positive and turn it into something negative, and I don't like that. You know, I really don't like that. And so this is why I looked at it. I saw a clip of that it was going to be a performance. I watched it, and I must say, and I really liked the way that Beyonce did that because there was a big thing. Yeah, before I go, yup, pen is still there. So I'm gonna say struggler. I mean, you can watch it. I'm not saying it's something that's gonna be super entertaining for everybody, but I like craftsmanship. I like excellence. I like thirsty people going after the money. That's exactly what it is. Positive to negative. It's to hold us back. That's exactly what it is. Because I think they look at whoever the top people are, like let's say a Jay Z and a Diddy, whether you like them or not, they are excellent at what they did as far as building businesses and building brands. They got into clothing lines and things like that. And the thing that I like about them, they did it with no college degree, and it's been done before, but particularly when it comes to minorities, we told that look, if you don't go to school, you're not going to be able to really make anything of yourself. And those guys are the prime example that that's not true. That if you got a vision and you got strong work ethic and you work on your skill and you push hard day in and day out, that you can have something. And it doesn't mean everybody's gonna reach a billionaire status. It's not even about that, but it's about just being great at what you're doing, being comfortable, and then having freedom at some point where you're not really working for nobody else. You're working for yourself and pushing the culture. So I appreciate that about them guys, and to see that the way that they've been getting beat up in the media, I know it's behind it. I know it's a lot of hate, it's a lot of jealousy behind it. And I like the responses from Jay Z and from Beyonce. Uh, what's the name hasn't Puff didn't respond at all and didn't respond properly, which is why I think he's in the situation he's in right now, which is a very bad situation to be in, which I think is unfair. I think it is. A lot of it is propaganda, and a lot of it is racially motivated. And I know people are going to say, you're bringing race into this. It's about holding people accountable. Yeah, you hold people accountable, but like the federal judges always say, you punish people. A punishment should be sufficient but not greater than necessary, meaning you punish the person for what they did and what you can prove that they did, not for what you think they did, or you punishing them for something else that you didn't get them for. You punish them for that. But anyway, um back to why I'm talking about the Beyonce performance is because over this last week, I've been keeping up with YouTube. I've been reading articles and things like that, and they tried to take Jay Z down with a fake accuser. They had some uh, fake woman. Um, she wasn't a fake woman, but they had some woman come up with a story, and they pushed it all out on the news because if you're a minority, if you're a black guy, and you get accused of a heinous crime like a sex crime or something like that, people already gonna look at you crazy, even if you didn't do it. If it's just an allegation, and if it's against a black woman, you might hear some little rumblings. But if it's a white woman that accuse you, it's automatically like sudden death. You already did it. You're guilty. Period. Nobody wants to say that, oh, this person may have lied. This may not be true. Anyway, um, I don't like that because I've been accused of things that I didn't do before. I've also had to go through trial before, and I was found not guilty. And I know that the stress of that and that burden that it puts on you of like, what if the jury doesn't see it your way? What if you had every right to do what they said you did, or you were in the clear, you were innocent of what they say you done, but the jury might not look at it like that because they say it's supposed to be a jury of your peers, but it's really not always like that. You can be it's just not fair. The justice system not fair. I'll say that. Anyway, there was a lot of rumblings of, oh, Beyonce dropped Carter from her last name. She dropped Jay-Z's last name. She doesn't want to be associated with him. This and that. Jay-Z shouldn't show up to his own daughter and his own wife's performances and things like this. And I'm going there, I'm looking at it like, what? If you have a daughter or a son or anybody in your family that is doing something and you're proud of them, regardless of what you're going through, you probably gonna show up. It's like if your kid has a graduation, if you missed that graduation, it was something drastic that made you miss the graduation, or else you definitely want to be there. So why are you going to try to tell this guy, these men, that they shouldn't be at their a celebration or something, a big event for their own family members, their children, their wives, their cousins, or something? So there was this big thing about Jay-Z, Beyonce dropping Carter from her name, and what she did at the performance last night at the Texas Stadium, she put in bold letters everywhere, Carter, Cowboy Carter, Cowboy Carter. Even across her gown, whatever she was wearing, it said Cowboy Carter. Some of her dancers had Cowboy Carter on there. Basically, I don't know if she was saying that Jay-Z is a cowboy too, or she's the cowboy cowgirl. Well, of course, it's probably talking about him because it says Cowboy Carter. So that was something that I thought was a good message to make, right? So that was a good response, and I think that it was just a great response to everybody on the biggest stage, especially when you have so many people watching the game for Christmas. And how many, other than the Super Bowl, you never have a bigger audience than that. So yeah, say Jay Strong love his business absolutely, absolutely his business ethics, his business ethics. Well, you want to say hi?
Who you speaking to?
I'm doing something. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, the business ethics are very good. Matter of fact, some of the strongest business ethics, because think about it. When he first tried to get into the business and tried to get a deal, nobody would sign him. I mean, Def Jam, everybody turned him down. So what they had to do was him and Dame Dash had to start their own, him and Dame Dash, him and Dame Dash had to start their own label, right? Along with Kareem Biggs Burke, start Rockefeller Records. Now everybody wants to come. I think they signed with what was yeah, what was the name of the group that he first signed to? Not Elektra, Priority. I think it was Priority Records. It turned out to be a bad deal. They end up on doing a deal with Def Jam. It blows up. Then a couple years later, they come out with Rockaware. Then a couple years later, they I don't know if they had a deal with no, not with Iceberg, with Armadale. They were promoting Armadale. They started putting out their own liquor, then started doing their own films. Hold on, 1 second. Yeah. So anyway, uh, yeah. So the business ethics are strong, man. I mean, you know how good of a business person you gotta be to start off from the projects, from poverty, to start off from poverty, from nothing, and put yourself in a situation where you're doing deals with the NFL, and you at the point where you might become a billionaire, you know. So we gotta salute those business those business moves. Never been a Puffy fan since high school, but respect the game. That's right. It's always gonna be unfair when it comes to us. Absolutely. And it's hard to change people. The masses are like zombies. Yes, they are, man. They just follow anything and everything. You said she's from Texas. That was big, like wearing his chain. Yup. She's representing her man in her state. That exactly. Struggler, you hit it. Struggler, you hit that. But he had his own business portfolio he was building also. Yeah. He has some worthy properties in NYC and abroad. Absolutely. Absolutely. Matter of fact, one of my peoples out in Tokyo was telling me back in the day she was working for actually a very close friend of mine. She was telling me that she was working for a real estate company. I want to say in the early 2000s, and this is when Jay Z first started the 4040 Club, and they were looking for a location to have a 4040 out in Tokyo, and it was her company that they hired to look for that club. You know, I mean, look for the location where they would have the club, but I can't remember. Something happened, and they didn't end up doing it. So the 4040 never opened up in Tokyo, but it was on its way. But it just never happened. They did have one down in Jersey City, not Jersey City, excuse me, Atlantic City, I think in New York, and then somewhere else. And now they looking to bring it back. But but um, so yeah, that was a big deal for her to have that performance that she had in Texas. And you know that lawyer that's going after Jay Z lately, the one that's been filing a lot of these false cases and these false allegations against Jay Z and Puff, he's from Houston too, and he's not some regular lawyer. He's been getting big cases over the years where he's won a lot of money. So it's not like he can't be shut down so easy. I think he's gonna end up getting shut down eventually because as a lawyer, you can't keep filing false um, allegations like that because now they had this one accuser who got caught lying. Her father said that um, he doesn't. She tried to implicate her father in her story against Jay Z and Puff, and the father said it wasn't true, that he don't remember nothing like that. So if your own father says that you full of crap on a rape allegation, it's gonna be hard to believe that. So anyway, this guy, his name was Tony Busby from Texas. I think he wanted, you know, they wanted to put these two big bad niggas. You know, that's how they think. These two big bad uppity niggas who got money. They wanted to put them in their place and strip them of all that they have. Because think about it, man. A lot of these young kids growing up, looking up to these musicians, these rappers, and back in the day, people was wearing do rags and pants sagging. Not saying that pants sagging was cool, but they wanted to what they call hip hop. You know what I mean? Where these people from the hood was saying, look, we're not going to conform to corporate America. Corporate America is going to have to either conform to us or include us in what they're doing because hip hop was $1 billion business on its own. We didn't need none of these big major companies. You didn't need none of these outsiders, people from outside of the hood, outside of the ghetto, telling the ghetto what was cool and what wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was something that it's an art form that just birthed out of poverty. So how can these people from the suburbs try to tell you uh, what you should be doing, what's cool and what's not cool? So I think a lot of people got caught up in that, and now those people still they want to control it, so they're gonna try to tear down the biggest names in the genre. So as you were talking about, oh yeah, yeah, Jay is phenomenal, man. I don't look, no, I look at it like this: nobody's perfect, but you know, Jay Z is a super. He's if you talking about hip hop, he is one of the. You got to put him on the Mount Rushmore of one of the biggest that ever came out of the out of the genre. Matter of fact, out of history. Period. He's not just one of the biggest black musicians or black hustlers. He's one of the biggest musicians. Period. Think about it. He has more number one albums than the Beatles. Think about that for a second. Than the Beatles. The only person who I think got more than Jay-Z is, I think, is Kanye. Eminem and Kanye might be there, but you know, Eminem is always gonna be in those discussions when it comes to numbers because he got such a huge fan base, and he can rap too. You can't say that the man can't rap. He can. But business-wise, though, you've never seen anything like a Jay-Z. You never seen nothing like a Puff. Dr. Dre is a little bit different because I feel like Dr. Dre is a music producer, but as far as an entrepreneur and a hustler, that wasn't really his lane of what we used to hearing from Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre got a large amount of what he got recently in the last few years through that Beats deal that he did with Jimmy Iovine, which was a great deal too, when they sold Beats to Apple. But anyway, when it comes to Puff, I know a lot of people not a fan of Puff, but I think that the man's work, you can't take away the history of what he's done, man. As far as music, I mean, Bad Boy, when Bad Boy got had it, Bad Boy had it, man. I mean, just think about it. Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, even though they wasn't on Bad Boy, they went through like Usher, B.I.G. Come on, man, Mace, 112, Faith Evans. Just at one point, everything that Puff touched pretty much turned to gold. And people who talk bad about Puffy now, they talk bad about Diddy, man, but you can't say that the man wasn't a genius in how he orchestrated and, you know, he choreographed all of that, the mid 90s years when everything was real grimy. In New York, you had Wu-Tang and the real grunge sound. Puff kind of came and added a little bit more flavor to it. He put the funk back into hip hop, you know. So um, yeah, man, I still admire those guys for what they did, man. And until somebody showed me some hardcore proof that these guys are hardcore criminals, I ain't buying it. And I don't believe these charges, even these charges they got against Puff. If you want to say the man, like I said, you want to say that the man assaulted his girlfriend, that's, of course, that's obvious. That's some, but to say that he was running a RICO and racketeering ring and human trafficking, I'm not buying that. Uh, because at what point was he doing that? The man has been in plain sight for the last 30 years, and you just now saying, "Oh, we found out that he's been doing some racketeering and criminal activity." Well, all right. Well, then, when did he have time to do all that? If he's running a record label, he's doing TV shows, he's doing political campaigns, he's building clothing, fashion companies, and he's still the only black guy to ever win fashion award of the fashion line of the year, the first and the only to win it over Ralph Lauren, over Tommy Hilfiger, and all that. He's the only one. Carl Kanai never even got it. Dapper Dan and all them guys, even though Dapper Dan didn't have his own clothing line, but still, and what other having a vodka company, Ciroc, and all this. So I don't see where you can have enough time to be running a criminal enterprise um, and have all of these legit businesses like that. So that's why I'm not buying the propaganda and buying those charges. And then human trafficking, on the other hand, too. Human trafficking, I don't agree with that charge in this instance. Human trafficking can be anything. Human trafficking could be that uh, you want to meet somebody, you and your significant other want to go somewhere to another state or another across the country or to a whole nother country, and if you pay for that person's transportation and y'all engage in some activities later, technically that would be called human trafficking. So I don't think that that the way that that law is written should apply to that situation. But because they looking at this as an opportunity to take down, in my view, uh, an elite, very extremely successful black individual. They're turning it up on him, trying to get him to probably plead guilty or make a deal for something that he probably shouldn't make a deal for. And so this is why I don't like that sex trafficking and human trafficking title or charge. But the average person, when they hear human trafficking or sex trafficking, they're imagining that you're uh, tying somebody up, you're putting them in a and throwing them in a van and putting tape over their mouth and putting them in the back of a truck and shipping them out, which that's not it at all. So this is how they just play with words, man, and they put it all over the internet, they put it all over the news, all over the TV, all over the newspapers, and people are just reading the title and that's it. So um yeah, so I'm not buying that. I'm not buying those charges. If I'm on a jury, you're gonna have to really show me something. Show me something before I convict somebody of anything like that. Don't just put one accuser up there and say, "Oh, he abused me. He forced me to do this. He forced me to do that for over 10 years." Well, why did you stay so long? If that assault in that hotel room happened in 2016 and it didn't come out until 2024, it's 8 years ago. Why is everybody outraged about it now? Where was the outrage back then? Did she tell anybody? Now, this is not victim shaming or victim blaming, but I just have to question, why do people stick around uh, for things like that? Anyway, uh, I suspect, because I know, and I'm gonna get to these comments in a second. I suspect that this judge is in on it, even though he's of Indian descent, which people would probably think that the judge is neutral. You know what I mean? Not taking a side, but I think that he has taken a side, man. If we're being honest, and he is denying uh, Puff his rights, his constitutional rights, and I think it's what he's gonna do, because the federal charges is not like uh, state charges, where state charges, the prosecutor and the defense the prosecutor and the defense can the prosecutor and the defense both work on, they decide who the jury is going to be, who's going to be on the jury. Federal case, it's the judge who decides who the jurors are going to be, and I think he's going to purposely pick the jurors who he knows are most likely to convict this defendant. So it's the fix is in, basically. He said his freestyle was crazy. He can stand in a crowd and break everything down around him. Things you don't even you before you see it. If you feel it and realize he broke your whole fit down in a freestyle. We are talking about Jay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It's been a while now. It's unfortunate he wasn't allowed bail. Yeah, man, $50 million bail. But there was a mistake on that too. I'm gonna talk about that bail for a second. Everyone gets angry in relationships, but we have to expect that someone goes the extra to take, and we don't know the real facts. I've had a female try to rob me, and after Matt Clapton back in the day. See, yeah, man. And this is what I say too. We got to know what happened behind the scenes. It's not just what you see on video and what you see on tape, because there's always something behind it. And there's something, and most people are going to ignore that. They don't want to hear what happened. They don't want to hear that if something was taking that if there was money or clothes in that duffel bag, which is what I heard going around for people who are close to the situation. Y'all know I've been around that federal courthouse quite a bit, and you get to meet people and hear people, and people will tell you like some inside info that you don't hear on the media, on the news, that there was money, jewelry, and clothing in that duffel bag that happened right after a little fight, which is why the dude came out with nothing but a towel. And so anyway, um, people don't know that part. Now him having to explain that in a courtroom in front of a jury that's not going to be of his peers, believe that that jury is going to look at it and probably say, we don't care what happened, we don't care if she pulled out a knife and threatened to stab you, she was leaving, something like that. They're going to fix it like that. But if you look at it the way that the government is going at him, you would have thought that this man was John Gotti and all of this stuff. When this first indictment that they came out, it's only one alleged victim, only one. So y'all doing all of that for only one. Now here go the thing about the bail, Pen. You talking about that bail? The problem that I found with the bail is that you don't offer a bail. You wait until the judge says, okay, I'm going to set the bail at this amount. But I don't want to get to criticizing his attorney because I had the opportunity. I met uh, Mark Agnafilo a couple times, but I did question a couple. There's a couple things that I have some questions about, man, that just kind of seem a little bit uh, questionable to me. I would say, for example, that first $50 million bail offer. Why even offer that much? You see this guy from Abercrombie and French, the CEO, I think his name was Mike Jeffries or something like that. He just got pulled up on a trafficking charge too, where he did some heinous things and he got a $10 million bail. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who look at it and say, well, that's a white guy, Puff's black, so of course you're not gonna have the same, uh, you know, the standard is not the same for whites as it is for blacks in America. This we know, but still, I think it was a bit of an error to offer, say, hey, we got $50 million bail sitting right here. Why would they do that? Why? Because the judge was waiting to reject. Because if you offer, no matter what you offered, even if you offered 5 million, if you offered 10 million, if you offered 100 million, the fact that you offered it, the judge is gonna be like, no, this, like, you, what do you think, you just gonna pay your way out? No, we want to put the screws to you. So I think if they would have kept that off the table and not offered that money for bail, I think that the judge probably would have said, okay, I'm setting the bail at 10 million, I'm setting the bail at 15 million, whatever, 20 million, whatever. It could have went up to 50. Whatever the case, it was a mistake, a tactical blunder to offer that. And what happens is when one federal judge makes a decision, rarely will you have another judge come behind them and change it, because they all want to be on the same uh, wavelength. Even if with that first judge's decision was wrong or it shouldn't have happened, even if it shouldn't have happened, then you know, um, you're barely going to get somebody to turn against that unless you go to the Supreme Court. And even then, when you go to the Supreme Court, it's extremely hard because only 2% of cases make it to the Supreme Court. A lot of people try to get to the Supreme Court and they appeal certain decisions. Only 2% of cases are actually heard at that level. So, and I think his case, he has a big enough name and enough resources to make sure that his case is heard. But the problem is he's already been convicted in the court of public opinion. So that's gonna be tough. They definitely will try you, struggler. They definitely. Funny you say, why did they stay so long? It's because of access. Yeah, they get hooked on stuff they can't afford, and like the lifestyle in which they need things they can't afford. Candy goes back to OJ. No, you hit it on the you hit that right on the head. Same thing with OJ. Even though I think OJ was a bit different, that's something. This is a very uh, controversial. I have a controversial view on the OJ thing because I think OJ was innocent. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, you can't possibly think that. Or everybody, we all know he did it. I'm not convinced at all. Especially when I looked at the case myself and looked at the reasons why he got off. People say, "Oh, it's because it was an all black. It was an all black jury, and they were getting revenge for Rodney King." And actually, that's not true. The jury wasn't all black. There was white on the jury. There was a Mexican on the jury, and somebody else of a different ethnic background, and they all unanimously voted not guilty. But anyway, that there was evidence planted against OJ, so that was a whole different kind of story. You couldn't convict him if you're a reasonable person. Even if you did think he did it, it would have been hard to convict him, knowing that they also planted evidence against him and it was proven. When you had somebody like a detective, Mark Furman, who planted that glove, or it was shown that in court that he planted the glove, and then he pled the fifth when asked about it. Um, you know, uh, and you could say that was an allegation. You could say that it was alleged that he did it, but from everything that was shown, it looked like he did plant that glove. He took it from the murder scene and put it at OJ's house, or else there was no other evidence to connect OJ to that crime. They talked about blood and all that, but that was stuff that was easily manipulated in the labs, in the DNA labs, especially at that time when people didn't know how to collect DNA properly and they weren't changing their gloves every time they touched different pieces of evidence. Cops stepping in blood at the murder scene, then going over to OJ's house and walking around his house, leaving trace evidence from stuff like that. So, uh, but again, that your point is that when people feel that they're getting something, they will stay in those kind of situations, and this is very true. You say Penn say you didn't know that about federal cases. Yup, in the federal cases, the judges pick the jury. It's not the defense or the prosecutors. So now imagine if the judge already has it in for you, or the judge is a racist, or a judge. Maybe if the judge is not a racist, maybe the judge just believes all of the stuff that they've been hearing on the internet, they've been reading on social media. Because mind you, this judge, his name is Judge Aram Submaranian. I forget how to pronounce it correctly. But like I said, he's of Indian descent. And while I was over here, I actually seen that last name here. So he probably um, could be coming from one of these areas. But anyway, he's a young guy, and I'm sure that he's always on social media and all this. And the he's probably got caught up in that too, thinking, oh, this guy it must be guilty. He must have done it. So anyway, um, yeah, that judge is gonna. He's already denied bail, and he wanted to deny that bail. He didn't even really want to give him a opportunity. He definitely denied that bail, with all the conditions that they could have met to let him out. Um, he uh, he was definitely happy to deny that bail. And the jury that he's gonna pick one that is not gonna be a jury of Puff's peers. Is gonna be some type of people who are, how to make somebody get convicted if you really want to, you know. Let me jump on this. Bunch of crooks on the bench, yeah. That's how it go. And they all friends. You got to remember this too. Most judges, not all, but vast majority of judges were prosecutors at one point. You know, before they became a judge, they were prosecutors. So they come into uh, their job in almost every case with the mindset that the person being tried is guilty already. Most people are not thinking, oh, this person might be innocent. They're thinking if the feds got you, you're guilty. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes the feds know how to make people look guilty whenever they want to. And the average person doesn't have enough money or resources to really fight against the feds because they have unlimited resources. If you ever go to New York and you see the FBI building, oh my goodness, it's like this big, huge building of, yeah, you got the older people in there, but you got a lot of young people who are very savvy with with computers, with artificial intelligence and things like this. They're very savvy with hacking phones and computers. They know how to make uh, they know how to make you look like you did something. You guys know, you ever click on a YouTube video and or you go to YouTube and you'll see these thumbnails and it'll say so and so did this or so and so just got arrested. So and you're looking at it and it looks so real, but because you know that it's not real. You know it's fake. You know it's what they call AI nowadays. So when they flood the internet, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok with all this stuff, the average person can't see through it and say, "Hey, let me question this," or "I don't know if this is true or not." They already believe it. Another way that you figure that out is look at the comments. If I don't know if you guys ever read comments like I do, sometimes I watch a YouTube video and more so than watching the video, I'm actually looking at the comments to see what people are saying. And I'm just like, the things that people say, you can tell it's a bias or a hatred or a jealousy or just a lot of it is racism. And you're just like, you don't even know if this person really committed this crime, do you? You're just saying that the person must have did it because you don't like them. And that works the opposite way too. You have people who are fans of somebody and they're like, no way he did it or that. So you know, it all depends on who the person is and whether you like the person or not. If you're willing to give them a fair and objective look, you know. Um, but yeah, you said you convinced these ladies was with him because of what he could provide. Yep, was key, and these women's intent was to get money out of the case from the start, like it was playing. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. 9 times out of 10, not always, but 9 times out of 10, if you see in America, I'm gonna say in America, not necessarily everywhere in the world, but in America, if you see a younger woman with an older man, a younger attractive woman with an older man, most of the time is because he's able to provide something for her that she won't get on her own or she's not going to get from the younger guys. You know what I mean? So and you know what? Not even say that's in America. That might be all over the world. Because you know, you go to Thailand and you see a 60-year-old guy, 65-year-old guy with a 30-year-old girlfriend. You know, I mean, if the guy if he's in shape or he's sharp, he's looking good, he's groomed up, he dresses nice, that's one thing. Most women want to be with a guy who takes care of himself. He's looking good, smelling good, dressing good. Most women can appreciate that. Even if you're older, the younger women can be attractive to that. But if it's a guy who is not taking care of himself and he looks shabby, and you guys know what I'm talking about, but he's got him a nice, attractive younger woman, it's a high probability that he's paying for her. You know what I mean? And she's sleeping with him because she's getting something. Hold on one second. I'll call her back. You told her?
Yes.
I'll call her back. Anyway, so you see that in Thailand, you see that in the U.S. Um, and yeah, that's just that. So they all paid for it. It's all paid for play. You should think about law school, travel during summer and winter breaks. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Pen. I did start off real interested in thinking I was gonna go on that path, but kind of got diverted, man. And it is a big commitment to go to law school and finish up and become a lawyer. I would, after going to these a lot of these court hearings and watching these cases. And matter of fact, you guys were there. I think you guys were with me the first day I went down there when I went down there at the bail hearing. I didn't know I could just go in and watch all of these proceedings, and then I did actually get a chance to go in there, and I chopped it up with Puff's lawyers. You know what I mean? I want to say three of them actually. You know, you got Agna Philo. You got it's a woman. It was an older woman by the name of Shapiro, and then a brother, a real sharp brother, uh, by the name of Anthony Rico. This guy, if you guys ever get a chance to look him up, his name is Anthony Rico. Some people call him Tony Rico. Last name Ricco. This guy, he's a very sincere guy. He's been in the law for like 40 years, and I'm glad that Agnafilo brought him onto to the um, to the defense team because I think that he's gonna play a significant role in Puff's defense because he has more experience probably than Puff's lead attorney right now. But anyway, and I met Puff's mom too. She's a very nice lady. I felt bad for her because I know she wasn't. She was pretty down, and the way that she was being heckled on the way into court. People are so cruel. But Puff's family, man, they're pretty strong people given the circumstances, and him too. The way that he came in there, he was looking real confident. You know, even if it was just for show, he made me think like, yo, this guy might beat this case, man. He might know that something that nobody else knows. He might know that it's BS. But yeah, in terms of the law school thing, I would, man. But I don't know if I could, man. If I was lucky enough to get a scholarship or a sponsor or something like that, I definitely would uh would try. I actually looked into it. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I took recently I just wanted to see what kind of questions were on the bar, but my weak point though is writing. You know what I mean? I'm not the best writer and things like that because lawyers got to write a lot. But as far as trying to make sense of things, if somebody was in trouble and they needed somebody to help them out and help to defend them, that I think I probably could. Hold on one second. Yeah, so as far as trying to piece things together and make sense of things, I think I could do that. Um, but yeah, going to court. What I want to say too, I'm gonna get to what Struggler's saying, but going to court let me realize the people who have the real power are the judges, because the judge get to decide if you get another chance at life. The judge get to decide um, the direction of your life. Sometimes there's people who they really do need a second chance, you know, and sometimes a third chance. And some judges are not willing to give them that. And then you got some judges who are. So I just realized that the only way to have true equality in in America is if you got good judges, fair judges, you know. Like I watched that, I was in the courtroom for the Rudy Giuliani. I don't know if it was the last Rudy Giuliani hearing, but it was back in October, I want to say either late October or early November. I was sitting right behind Rudy Giuliani, who was the former mayor of New York City, and he got found guilty. He got held liable in a civil suit. It was these two black ladies that he defended. I mean, excuse me, he defamed down in Georgia due to the elections uh, a couple years ago with the Donald Trump thing, and it kind of like ruined their lives. So the jury voted in these women's favor and told Rudy Giuliani he had to pay like 100 and something million. And Rudy Giuliani didn't want to give up what he had, so he started hiding all his assets. And the judge brought him in, and the judge was kind of like trying to give him opportunities to pay the debt, pay his penalty that he was ordered to pay. And Rudy Giuliani was acting like he had dementia one moment, then acting like he didn't know where his stuff was. He was hiding things, and the judge was like, "Look, Giuliani tried to say he was being treated unfairly, and the judge was like, "Look, I'm not treating you unfairly. I'm treating you like how I treat anybody else." So he says, the judge said, people come into his courtroom every week. And there's illegal immigrants or people who don't have their papers who are being taken advantage of by uh, grocery store owners or bodega shop owners. People don't pay them properly because they know that they can't complain to nobody. They're not supposed to be in the country. So the judge says that he has people like those come into his files lawsuits against the store owners, and he finds those store owners get found guilty, and he says, look, some of these shop owners have had these businesses in their families for decades. They've had watches or clocks or certain things that have been in it that their grandparents gave them. He said none of that matters. If the jury says you have to turn it over, you have to turn it over. It doesn't matter if you're a bodega store owner or you're Rudy Giuliani. You have to abide by the law. So I respected that judge a whole lot for him to tell that to Rudy Giuliani. Did Giuliani turn over anything? He turned over like a one apartment that was worth like 5 million. But what he did was he emptied out the apartment. He took all of his the belongings that was in there. He took them out, which he wasn't supposed to do that. All of the artwork is supposed to stay in there. He had a Joe DiMaggio autograph uh, jersey or something like that that was supposed to go to these women, and it never went. So, long story short, you need judges like that to keep things balanced, you know. But I've seen some people who got, I mean, I thought for sure, I've been in the courtroom and I thought for sure that the judge was going to get a person like 8 to 10 years, and the judge, she might have gave him 14 months. That's a whole nother case that I'll talk about later. But that judge really looked out for this guy because this guy had all of uh, I don't want to say ingredients, but he had all of the circumstances that any other judge probably would have gave him a bunch of time. But because she was being compassionate, and not because he was just not just because she was being compassionate, his family showed up and she could see that he came from nothing. His employer wrote a letter to the judge saying, look, this guy with all his problems, he's still a good worker, and when he get out of jail, we want him to come back to work for us. That's how much we like this guy. So the judge took that into consideration, saying, damn, this guy is such a bad guy, but his employer wants him to come back. And another thing is that he did plead guilty to gun possession. Not only did he plead guilty for gun possession as a felon, he was a it's one thing if you get caught with a gun and you got a clean record, but it's another thing if you get caught with a gun and you have a long criminal history. And this guy had a criminal history, but he wasn't. You could tell he wasn't a bad guy though. He he was carrying a gun for protection, from what he said, because he had been shot a year before, and he just one night he was at somebody's home. He was at some girl's apartment, and he was on drugs. He was on PCP, and somebody called the police on him, talking about, oh, this guy's on drugs and he has a gun. So when the police showed up, they arrested him with that, and then it turned into a whole federal case. Anyway, long story short, his sister showed up to court, his mother showed up, and they brought like the little baby, and I was in the courtroom at the time, so I think the judge at one point probably thought that I was a relative, but I wasn't. I was just there observing. And the guy pled guilty. They didn't even ask him if he wanted to cooperate, make a deal, if he wanted to tell anybody. He pled guilty before anybody ever spoke to him, before the Fed. So the judge was looking at him like, yo, this is weird. I never had anybody just come in here and uh, just plead guilty without being asked, And she gave the guy 14 months in jail. Think about that. A convicted felon caught with drugs and told the judge that he had a drug problem. Uh, but you could tell he wasn't a bad guy. You know, he wasn't going around robbing people and things like that. Um, at least that wasn't on his charges and stuff. So anyway, the judge gave him 14 months, and his family, they was all happy. It was like, oh man, that's good. That's great, because everybody thought like, yo, the judge is about to hit him. And the judge that did it, she was a tough judge. Her name is Mary Kay Vacasso, and and I've been in her courtroom a few times. This lady is tough. She's I've seen her yell at prosecutors and the defense attorneys, like, so I didn't think that, you know what I mean? I didn't think that lady had any kind of compassion towards anybody, really, because I hadn't seen it the times that I was in her courtroom. But this and this guy, this she was feeling nice that day, because this guy, I thought he was going. He was a black dude too. So if anybody's wondering, that tells you what can happen in the federal courtroom. And then you see some guys who, you see two people who are in court, who go to the same. It could be the same judge, could be a different judge. They're in the court for the same exact charge, and they get two totally different sentences. Maybe both of them had clean records. It could all depend on how you look. Sometimes it just depends on how the judge is feeling that day. So you say the judge could have had a family member in the club back in the day when Puffy had an event with one way in, one way out, and there was a fire. Oh, you talking about I think you're talking about, okay, lots of things go back to the past, upholding bias in the heart. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You might be talking to if you talking about that one way in, one way out. I think that was City College event where a couple people got trampled. But I did some research on that. I heard that yes, he was the promoter, but that wasn't exactly his fault. What happened? Those people that got trampled in there, um, something went down where the tickets, the place had got oversold because somebody had stole some tickets to that event, and when the tickets either got lost or stolen, they said, okay, we got to get some more tickets because somebody stole some tickets to the event. And they went and they got more tickets to replace the tickets that got stolen, and they ended up trying to sell those tickets so they could get, I guess they had to make some money or recover the money that they spent on a venue and security, and had to pay the acts and all this. So it ended up having more people in the venue than was supposed to be there. And somehow the security did something wrong and ended up locking a door that wasn't supposed to be locked. And then, I don't, I guess with the fire and all that, then people started trying to go to one place, and people got trampled to death. It was bad, but I don't know if you can, if that whole situation could be put on him, even though he got blamed for it. Yes, that's like when Travis Scott, I think a couple years ago, somebody died at Travis Scott concert, and they blamed him for it. Um, those things happen, man, that you can't always put um, on people. I hold myself pretty well in those exchanges. Thank you, Penn. Appreciate you. Have I read Malcolm X's autobiography? I actually did, man, many years ago, and I would say that changed my perspective on a lot of things. Um, the autobiography of Malcolm X, it was written by Alex Haley, though. Um, Now the thing, you know, it was better than the movie, of course. Like everything else, like most books are usually better than the movies. But I read that a long time ago, and um, it was great. It's a good read because it lets you know even when somebody go to jail, they can still come out and make something of themselves. You can't shut somebody down just because they went to jail, because they went to prison. You never know what that person can become, especially if that person try to educate themselves. But here's a key component that a lot of people miss about Malcolm X. I don't think Malcolm X could have become Malcolm X without uh, Elijah Muhammad. They called the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Most people know just a little bit about Elijah Muhammad, but those who have read even Elijah Muhammad's books or really do the real research and know about, yeah. So Elijah Muhammad uh, is the one that planted the seed into Malcolm X for him to become who he became. And a lot of people seem to forget that or try to conveniently leave that out of uh, the conversation, but definitely appreciated that book. And Obama's book too. I read it. I think it was called The Audacity of Hope. I remember reading that. That was a good book too. And reading that book, I read The Audacity of Hope. I think Obama wrote two books back then. The Audacity of Hope, and the other one was no, Dreams for My Father was the autobiography. Dreams for My Father, and then The Audacity of Hope was what he wrote after. That was his second book. The interesting thing about Dreams for My Father, when I read that book, it made me say, this guy Obama, he's a great writer, but the thing is, he knew that he was gonna become president from an early age. I don't know if his father told him or planted the seed in him in his head, but Obama, if you read that book, the Dreams for My Father, he knew because there was just certain clues as you read in the book, and he's talking about how he was visiting, uh, the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument. He was just, it just was like he was taking steps along the way. Uh, it was just destined for that guy to become president, and I don't think nobody else, especially nobody of color, could have became president before somebody like Obama. He's just a unique individual. Of course, once he became president, he did a lot of BS. Um, you know, it's a lot of things that he did that I think made the world not a better place. Like, just a few things, man. Um, them getting rid of Muammar Gaddafi, I think that hurt Africa and hurt the world more than I mean, Americans rejoiced, of course, certain kinds of Americans, because they always thought that he was a terrorist. But if you talk to everybody else that's outside of America and England and France and those countries like that, they'll tell you that, I mean, the guy did a lot of good for a lot of poor people, you know? So, but I mean, that's a whole nother thing. I might talk about another thing, another time. But, you know, of course, you can't go against Obama, man. Obama was a once in a generation type of individual who was very intelligent because of his life experiences. Him going to Indonesia at a young age, uh, his mother getting with an Indonesian guy, his parents, his grandparents raising him for a little bit out in Hawaii. Um, you know, so he definitely had a mixed view of things, you know. So, but man, this was a good one, man. We going on, just hit 128, 128 minutes, man. So appreciate y'all, man, for chopping it up. If you want to be a better writer, try to read more. It could be anything, fiction also. That's a good point, Pen. A very good point. I'm gonna get that a shot. But man, we about to log out for a little bit, man. I'm gonna try to uh, go in later and like I said, man, and show what the spot look like in the daytime, man. I appreciate the blessings to you too, struggler. We're gonna chop it up, and y'all have a great day, man. All right, we're gonna continue this. All right, go on. All right, Pen.